McLellan banged in that power play goal on whatever night the game was, and he said he changed his stick, so there's less whip. I know players are tweaking equipment all the time, but he seems pretty determined that that's something that can help him in tight, specifically on the power play.
Well, it's much more powerful when it comes from the individual. He knows his equipment, he knows his strength, his game, and by no means is the coaching staff in there saying, hey, change your stick or do anything like that. He's a veteran player. He understands what he needs for success, and if he believes that's going to help him, then we're behind him 100%. And you know, more importantly than the stick, it was the fact that he found a way to put it in, and that's a confidence builder for him and for the players around him. And we all felt good. We felt happy for him, and we want that to continue as the year goes on.
I know it's just early. Do you feel better about your right wing situation today than you did a week ago at this time, based upon what you've seen from Ratty, Puljujärvi, and Yamamoto?
Well, the obvious answer is yes. They took the direction that we gave them at the beginning of camp, and they've been very competitive. All of them have. But the concern there, and I answered this the other night, was the level of competition, the type of play we've been up against. And I think that will begin to even out this week. Second week is always a little more valuable to a coaching staff because it starts to weed itself out. The games get a little more competitive. The team we take to Winnipeg tomorrow won't be near as strong as the team we had here, and I'm sure it'll be the opposite for them. They'll have probably some of their big guns in the lineup, and that's okay. We go there to win, and we want to compete hard, but it's a good evaluator for us when when there's a little pressure put on us. How do we handle that? How do individuals play in those situations? And it gives us a chance to evaluate and move on, and those right wingers are included in that group.
Is your goaltending situation another 60 minutes from one of them? Who would that be?
Well, the goaltenders cost. Mikko will play in Winnipeg tomorrow, and the plan right now is to give him a full game and let him try and adapt to the league, to the pace, to the size of the arena. And again, that's a good evaluation tool for us. They play well at home. They come hard. I'm sure they'll have offensive players in their lineup, so he'll get an opportunity to perform against a pretty good group of players.
You said earlier that atmosphere show a lot about players, especially if you're not sending your full squad. Winnipeg is a tough building and a tough opponent. You're going to be able to read a lot in the players you send.
Yes, the opposition will provide the opportunity for us to evaluate us in a number of different situations, and we'll look at how we respond. And often what happens too is the worker bees make the road trip, and sometimes the stars stay home and play. And when the worker bees work, good things can happen. And I've seen that a number of times in exhibition season. So our plan is to go there and win a game, but also put our players in situations where we get to evaluate them under stress.
Now you've got game of the preseason. How is this camp sort of accelerated or a little bit different than in past years?
Well, the opportunity to spread camp out a little bit doesn't exist. We normally get 3 or 4 days extra here at the back end of camp to practice and get prepared at home. We don't have that. The fact that we are going from regular ice to Olympic ice back to regular ice real quick comes into play when you think about goaltenders, you think about Koskinen, just getting used to it and maybe going back to it, the travel, all that type of stuff. But as I told the team this morning, I'd give them a check mark for the first week of training camp. And it has nothing to do with winning the 3 games. It has everything to do with showing up prepared, being attentive, giving each other the effort that's needed to have a competitive camp, and to be prepared to move forward. And so far so good, but that's only a 1-week check mark. We're on to the 2nd week check mark, and we've got to advance now, and that's what we're preparing to do.
Is this why the lines and the defense are pretty much static, that you want to get that cohesion going early on?
Well, we've always broke camp up, and many would say, well, it's the NHL team and the American League team. It isn't that. It's just that we'd like to work with some cohesive units, power play, penalty kill units and pairs in practice. As you saw today, we're down to 1 group. It's not an ideal group. There's too many players here right now. But after tomorrow, we'll make some more decisions and pare the group down a little bit more so we can get to real good practices versus having too many bodies and less reps for players that need them.
Todd, I know it's early, but a week and a half into training camp, what can you say about the leadership group led by Connor and led by Leon, Oscar, Adam? What can you say about what they brought to the table so far, especially for the young guys on the game?
Well, as I said, the group as a whole got a check mark for week one, and that doesn't happen by accident. The leaders showed up and led. They made every practice important. They made every situation important. They've done things right in the summer and come back with good fitness testing and numbers, so that's a form of leading. They carry themselves around the arena properly right now in the locker room. And the young players who are pretty wide-eyed to begin with are emulating their habits, and it's been a good week. That can't fall off, and often that begins with leadership. So, so far so good.
Does McDavid actually look better than last year?
You know what? It's not even a fair question for me to answer. I don't pay a lot of attention to Connor. Just because I know a lot of times he gets it done. We're trying to work on a few things with him, but my eyes and my mind and ours, probably as a staff, is going to a lot of other spots right now. He's played very well in practice. He's been really good in the games. You know, you hope a player gets better every year that he enters the league and eventually peaks, and still a young guy. And I know he's craving to become a better player and produce more on both sides of the puck. And if he's moving in that direction, we even got a better player.